See, and that's what the modern Christian religion is saying. You know, don't investigate any further than what we've told you. That's what society is telling you as you grow up into it. Don't investigate any further as to what we've told you. And that's what your parents are saying. Don't investigate any further than what we've told you, see. Well, when I became a man, or what I considered myself to be a man, I had to look at all this, right? And I had to decide, did I want to investigate further? And what prompted me to investigate further is because the people telling me that they had all the answers were continually contradicting themselves. They were contradicting themselves all the time. You know, they would tell me one thing and then they would do another. Or they would tell me this thing works and then I would try it and it wouldn't work. And I'm going, well, you know, I want to believe these people. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and everything because they're my parents and they're my relatives and they're my friends and they're my associates and everything. But I look at their example, and their example contradicts what they're telling me. In other words, they're telling me this formula works, but the mess that their lives are in shows me that this formula doesn't work, see? So I'm saying, now they're telling me that if I don't investigate any further, I'm going to be happy in my life, but yet they're not happy in their lives. You know, the powers that be, the people that are so-called over me, that have actually put themselves over me in their own mind, because, you know, a divine creator never puts one person over another person. They tell me that I attain this certain level in humanity, and if I don't go any further, I'm going to be happy. But then one day I just sat down and said, hey, I'm not happy. You know? So either I'm hard to please, or these people have been lying to me. So the first thing I decided was maybe I'm too hard to please, you know? I mean, maybe I'm just, it's really hard to amuse me or whatever, entertain me or whatever, you know? And I looked into that avenue. So I started getting into all the different things that society says are going to make you happy, i.e. Money, position, sex, all that kind of stuff, you know? And it didn't do anything for me. I still wasn't fulfilled. You know? So then I said, well, then I had to, and you got to remember, this experiment went on for decades. And then all of a sudden at the end of this part of the experiment, where I'm amassing all these things society's going to say is going to make me happy, you know, like they say a wife's going to make me happy, but then when she deserts me and my kids, you know, that doesn't make me happy. You know, they say money is going to make me happy, but then when I'm spending more than I'm making and I'm getting into debt, that's not going to make me happy, you know. And then when they say, well, sex is going to make me happy, but then when sex becomes so dangerous that you can get an incurable disease from it, that's definitely not going to make you happy. And then they say, like, you know, being famous is going to make you happy, you know. And even though I've never really been famous, I've always been on the threshold. In other words, I've got enough talent and stuff where I could actually take that next step. But even being on the threshold, you know, I realize that that's not going to make me happy, because I look at the examples of the people who have stepped over, took that next step that I never took, and look at them. I mean, their lives are miserable. So all of a sudden, after decades of experimenting, I realized, well, you know, I got to look into a different avenue. I got to look down a different path. I got to look in a different alley. I got to look in a different alternative here, you know. And the alternative I started looking into was that, hey, these people are lying to me, you know. They lied to me all along. They never had the answers. They just never wanted me to find the answers, because if they don't have the answers, they definitely don't want to help somebody else find the answers. So that's the alternative I started looking into when I started searching through all these ancient writings and everything like this, you know. And here's the thing consistent in all these ancient writings, okay? They never contradict themselves. They always prove the point they're trying to make, and they always are truthful. They're never lying. They're never trying to deceive you. And they never try to persuade you one way or the other. They just give you all the facts, and based on all the facts that you see or you've read or you know or you've heard, then you can make an intelligent decision, which is exactly what the Design was talking about, where man finally got the wisdom to make a choice. It said, now man has wisdom so he can make a choice. Well, the Creator gave him that wisdom so he could make that choice. So all the things I've been told since I was a little child are wrong, turn out to be right. And all the things I've been told since I was a little child that were bad turn out to be good. And all the things I've been told since a little child that were supposedly a product of the dark side turn out to be a product of the light side. Because since I was a little child, this society, mankind, i.e., have been lying to me about what really is the purpose for being on this earth and what really is the purpose for being created and everything. Because they never found the answer. And if they never found the answer, they'll be damned if anybody else is going to find the answer. But anyway, I was able to look at these books. And if you want to go one further, if I had been born in another country, I might not have been able to look at these books because, these books might not even be available in other countries. I mean, because the other countries have a lot more censorship than we do. So, it might be against the law or physically harmful or even, risking, incarceration to even look at these different books and stuff in other countries. You might be literally taking your life into your own hands if you look at these books. But here, because of America, because being born in America, I can go to a library, I can go to a bookstore, or I can go somewhere where I know these books exist, and I can either check them out or purchase them, see? So there's a freedom right there that I'm thankful for, And if people say, well, all this stuff is against what America stands for, well, no, it's not. It's exactly what America stands for. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's exactly what America stands for, more freedom in this country than in any country in the world. So I can honestly say that I can look into all this stuff and search all these different paths and those different alternative ways of living and stuff and still be a strong American and be a proud American and also be a good American, But of course, society, which is the ones who haven't found the answer yet, the powers that be, are telling me, or trying to tell me rather, or tried to tell me because they can't tell me anymore, that no, this is wrong. You have to accept what we say, and then that's it. You can search no further. But I have been born into a country where I can make the choice whether I want to search further or not. See, which a lot of people on this world don't have that choice because the government just tells them, okay, this is the way it is, and you can look no further. And if you look further, you're going to risk more than you bargained for. Well, think about it. I've lost my friends, I've lost my family, I've lost my job, I've lost my livelihood, I've lost my financial security, So I've lost a lot looking into this. But, I've never been faced with the prospect of going to jail for looking at these books. I mean, these books aren't against the law to look at least yet. But in other countries, see, you not only lose everything I mentioned, but you can go to jail for looking at these books. You can be killed for looking at these books. See, so you risk a lot in other countries to look into these different books and stuff. But here, at least you still have the freedom to look into these books. See, they call it freedom of religion, and it's guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States. Sure, it's not a popular opinion. It's not an accepted opinion. It's not even considered a valid opinion by most people, by the majority of the people, in this country. But at least you still have the option of whether you want to look into it or not. See, and that's why I've come to the realization that everything is for a reason. And I wasn't born in America just because of an unassociated event of the entire galactical culmination of things. I mean, there was a reason I was born in America, and that reason was because I would have the freedom to look into all these books. So you knowing that now, I offer you that same freedom.